And we live.
Yep. And we're live.
Cute. Super cute.
All
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Locked and loaded, baby.
Oh,
Let's
ladies and
go.
gentlemen, welcome to the Dim Sum Daddies.
Oh, that was the other one.
No,
He's
dude.
excited on an official name.
Yeah, well,
So, is Dim Sum Daddies in?
yeah, dude.
That's the official name?
That sounds good as fuck.
Yeah.
Catchy.
Dim
Yeah, it
Sum
is.
Daddies.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dim Sum Daddies. Today's episode is going to be about single moms and the trials and tribulations that they face. And, you know, more often than not, this is very common in our age. You know, we're in the 28 to 33 age group.
Millennials, baby.
Yeah, millennials. Yeah. So we have some guests today. We have Destiny and Karma.
Hi.
Yeah. They're remaining anonymous because they have
Legal issues.
Legal obligations.
Yeah, they have problems. I don't want to say problems.
We all got problems, baby. It's
Yeah,
all-
they have issues at home, and
Don't we all?
yeah. No, they have legal challenges that they face. So we're not going to use their real names, but we have been good friends for many, many years.
Many moons.
Many years. Yeah. How long have I known you, Destiny and Karma? Okay, first of all, wait, who's Destiny and who's Karma?
It's Destiny.
Yeah, are you Karma?
I am.
Okay. So Karma's the high pitched voice.
Hi.
Destiny, can you give us an audio check?
Hey.
Okay.
what's
Now you guys
up?
sound basically the same. Okay.
Just
So
basically this.
okay, so since we're on the topics of single moms, Destiny and Karma, they are single moms.
Hey.
You know, they have kids. They do a lot of shit by themselves, and it's challenging. It's very challenging, and I give a lot of respect to single moms because there's so much shit that you guys have to do on your own, and not only that, you do it on your own, and you have someone else to take care of while taking care of yourself, on top of work, on top of, you know, your family and your friends, trying to juggle all of that. It's a challenge, you know? So my first question to you is, Destiny and Karma, what do you think is the biggest challenges that you guys face as single moms?
I think I just like to make this clear about single moms, action, and co-parenting because there are a lot of good dads out there. Unfortunately, we don't have the best dads on our side, but there are a lot of great dads out there that aren't with their baby mamas, and therefore it's not really considered single mom action. It's a little different in our situations because we
Okay,
have,
so let's back up a little bit. What is your situation?
I mean,
For the Dim Sum Mafia, they want to hear it.
I think in our situations we have, you know, dads.
And to each, you guys both have separate problems. So you can go first, Destiny.
But I mean, in both of our situations, we have dads who are there physically, but they're not fully there as fathers to their children, and therefore it makes a huge difference versus what it entails on like what people expect from the situation.
Karma?
So what I think it begins with is, you know, we have a kid expecting so much from this man that has, you know, painted this beautiful picture. I'm going to be a great father. I'm going to take care of the kids. And once that kid comes out, where does that all go? And it's more so like they expect us to do more for whatever reason, and they think that they can get away with just, oh, here, I'll watch the kids.
Okay. Let's back up a little bit. So, do you think a lot of that has to do with the way that they were raised as a child? So, in their lives, their father figures, the moms took care of everything. Do you think that has a big part to play of it? Because in this day and age, there's a lot of shit where, you know, the dads do a lot of stuff. There's even stay-at-home dads. You know what I mean? And
not that I'm trying to defend the single, the whole dad side of the stuff, but I feel like that's a kind of a stereotype almost. I feel like, a lot of females feel as if there's a lot of deadbeat dads out there. Not like, not that I'm saying.
So do you think that's a, God, what's the word?
I don't know if that's a generational thing or if that's a, I don't know. I mean, it could be a generational thing, but I feel like that's a generalized stereotype.
Do you think it's a societal thing? Like it's portrayed in movies a lot? It's portrayed in a lot of social media?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big influence on it too. Do you think the single dads have a more or less stress-free life because they see it in how it's so common nowadays and they feel like they don't have to live up to that expectation?
I can tell you like this. I have two dads, and my son's dad is an actually decent dad, and he comes from a broken home where his dad married a lot, wasn't the perfect father figure for him, but he stepped up and he's decent. Versus my daughter's dad, who comes from a perfect home, mom and dad. He's got an younger sister. I'm sorry, and he's terrible. He does what he has to, and then he leaves, and then dumps his child on his parents to take care of.
So ultimately, what you're saying is that it's on the individual.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what you're saying is, regardless of how you're raised, it's the person that you make a child with, how they put what's most important to them in their life.
Karma saying that it doesn't. I don't know how to say it. It's just basically along the lines of it's the individual in itself and things. I don't know. I can't.
It's more manipulative in the beginning.
Exactly. Like they present this picture that they're going to be so great, and then the child comes and they fall apart, especially when the relationship starts to fall apart. They don't present that picture that you thought that they would hold.
Why do you think that is?
Well, us women, we hold this idealization that, happy, beautiful home, beautiful family, beautiful life with a supportive husband, father to our children. These men think they can do it, but in reality, they just want to plant the seed, trap you in, and
really? Is that a thing?
It's not just me that's experienced it, but I mean, I'm sure. I think Destiny can vouch for me when it comes to having us trapped. They think that, oh, I'm gonna get this girl pregnant and she's never gonna find anybody else after me. But after they have us, it's more so like, oh, I have them already. She has my kid. She's never gonna go find somebody else.
Okay. So based on everything that you just said, for the listeners that are listening, especially the single moms, what advice can you give to them or to just young women in general?
It doesn't get better if you have a child thinking that your relationship will fix itself if you have a child with that person.
So why do couples and why do women think that it will get better if you have a child?
I think they use the child as leverage. When you give birth to a baby, as a mother, all of your attention, your time, your focus is on that child. I don't blame, your partner in feeling a little neglected in the beginning, but hey, I've grown this baby in my body for the past 9 months. You can't expect me to do anything less. This baby deserves all of my attention, all of my time. If he has a problem with that, then he's not ready to be a father. Like, you made this child with me. You should know that everything from the moment that the baby is in there, that's all it's about from here on out, And I think what my children's father didn't understand is that, okay, first of all, a little history on this. My pregnancy was rough. Like, I had a 72-hour labor. My my child was emergency C-section.
And this is
He
your
was
first kid
my
for the
first child.
listeners?
He's 6 years old now. He is autistic, and so my birth story was rough. He was stuck in me for this 72 hours, however long. And just seeing how the father was in that situation, like sleeping, not really helping. My mom
Red
was there
flag.
to feed me ice
Absolutely.
chips. My mom was there to give me like clear liquids whenever I was being induced. It's this whole mess.
It's not pretty much supportive.
Yeah. So from the get-go, if you're not going to be there right after when I'm giving birth to your child, what makes me think that you're going to be there for the rest of it?
No, absolutely.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah. So basically, red flags from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dumbass had another kid with him.
Well, hey, you know what? Karma,
Off the record.
you're human. It's okay. We're human. You're allowed to make mistakes in life. Well, I shouldn't say mistakes.
My second kid wasn't a mistake.
No,
he's
I'm
actually my
sorry.
biggest. No, like I think the reason why God gave my second one to me is because he knew that his dad was not going to be sufficient enough.
So now that you have these children and what you just said about you're happy that you had them. It was the light of your life, and I would hate to ask this question, but are there any regrets? I would absolutely not. You know what I mean? And hey, you know what? No, dude. You're human. It's okay, dude. There's so much pressure on single moms nowadays. It's okay.
I mean, my kids are definitely not regrets. I love them each and individually of how they turned out to be. They're so great in their own ways.
By the way, all your kids are beautiful. I love them.
Yeah.
Word.
They're all good kids.
It's just the
They're
timing
my
of
homies.
it. I think that was my biggest regret. Had I had them a little bit older, my life would be so much better. But because I'm not in a stable place in my life where I don't have a career just yet, I'm not living on my own. I still but I still turn to my mom for things, and I'm just not in the right place to be the perfect mom that I hope to be.
So what you just said, okay, for our young listeners that are in relationships and they're thinking about having kids, what advice can you give them? What can you tell them as young adults, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, that what you know now that you wish you knew when you were at the stage of having your children?
Well, in my
Would protection be an option?
I think your 20s and your younger years are just the time that you need to figure yourself out, what you want in your life, what you want to teach your children, and what you want them to I think what you would want for your children, that's what you should show them. And if you don't want them to see you struggling day to day with, fighting with your parents, living under the same household as them, just not financially stable, I think that's a big thing. I don't like showing my kids of me and my mom fighting all the
Hey,
time.
but you know what though? That's life. This happens more often than you think. And it's okay.
I mean, being young parents, yeah, it's one thing, but I just feel like I would want them to see a different side of me, and that's to come. But as of now, and when I was in my 20s, when I had my son, it wasn't who I wanted them to see, basically.
But you know what? I can tell you right now, for your son to see you go through those hardships and, a lot of pain and suffering, he loves you more for that.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I would rather him see me.
Dude, he's a good
strong.
kid, dude.
I would rather see him have him see me in a healthy relationship, married in our own home, and I could give him that financial stability, because right now I can't, and it's embarrassing on my part as a mother to have him see me weak, basically, at this time in my life.
But would you think that in the future, People think that you're actually strong.
Yeah,
You
that's a strength more than a weakness.
I was
if you
going to
think
say
about
that.
it.
You could see it like that, but as a parent, that you don't want your child to see any type of weakness, even though you see it as a strength for them. As adults, we see it like that, but they see it as a weakness. Like, my mom is struggling. It's so sad. While my friend's family is held together and they're married and they have siblings and they live this beautiful life in this house, and just it's kind of embarrassing.
But so you can counter that argument because you had him you guys are so close. You know, the relationships that you build when you're young, it's super important, and that carries throughout life. You know, so for him to see you nurture and love him and give you everything, he's gonna recognize that. And then a lot of kids, I can tell you from experience, a lot of kids realize that. You know, they see what their parents go through. So as a single parent, mother or father, they see it. Dude, kids are so they're very attentive. They know what's going on.
Sponges.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's one of those things where, you know, yeah, they may be able to pick up on it when they're young and when they're still growing up. But I feel like it's one of those things where they really get to appreciate and realize what the mothers went through when they get a little bit older.
Dude, I was just gonna say that.
say
I was
that
just
too.
gonna say that. Yeah.
Totally agree to that.
Or do they continue the cycle where they see that as a young parent it can be done, and then they go on and have kids at a young age?
But see, that's
Run
why
the same path.
that's why you teach them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's one of the risks.
That's why we're making this episode
But
for people to listen.
Do they learn from that I did it so they can too?
Oh man, that's
hard to say. I mean, right?
That's hard to argue because they see it. You know, I don't
They
know.
can either take it or learn from it. Mm-hmm. Same time, you gotta let it's pretty much
That's their own path they need to
Yeah.
make for themselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and as bad as it is to say, they need to learn that for themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
if
As is life, though.
I
As is
can't
life.
really say that for myself, right? But I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. So for the listeners listening to Dim Sum Daddies, we don't have any kids.
Yeah.
We have no children. We have pets. You know what I mean? That's not really kids, but yeah. But for
We have our kids.
well, we're family basically. So it's they're in our lives. They're our kids to a certain degree. Yeah. But see, okay, so because a lot of millennials, they're single parents, single moms, single dads, they lean on their friends a lot. And that's okay. I want the listeners to know that it's okay to lean on your friends. There's a reason why you have friends. There's a reason why people are in your life. There's a reason why you keep certain people in your life, because you want them to be there. You want them to help you, to grow with you, and for you to bring your kids into that. Dude, that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but as young single parents, our friends are still learning to grow as themselves. You know, they're getting into relationships, getting married. They don't have the time of day to always help you. I've had a lot of friends help me along the way, but they were never always there for me as a family member would be compared, not saying my friends aren't my family, but I didn't want to put that on them because they are living their own lives. They're 20 years old, getting married, living their life. It's not their responsibility to take care of my children.
So you know what that just shows? That just shows how much pride and strength that you have as a individual. And I know a lot of single parents that carry that. They don't want to seem weak.
I feel like a lot of people feel like that.
Yeah,
Pride is a big issue.
Hey, but you know what, dude? You're human, bro. It's okay. It's okay. That's what I want people to realize. Like,
everybody needs help. Every now and
everybody
then.
needs help. You cannot fucking tell me that you made it on your own. There's no fucking way.
Nobody made it on their own.
And for the person that said that, you're fucking lying.
To yourself and everybody else.
Oh, absolutely, dude. 100%. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in human nature. You need help. It's okay.
I mean, I can totally see that though. Like the pride thing. Of course, everybody has their own issues. Everyone's dealing with their own things. Everybody has full plates. Everyone's, especially nowadays, COVID, all that other kind of stuff. I mean, but still, there's no shame.
So let me ask you, during COVID, did you guys face challenges with your kids being separated from other kids? You know, was it because human interaction as a child is just natural. You want to befriend people. You want to communicate. You want to build relationships as a child. That's just
human interaction.
Yeah. So did you guys face any challenges during COVID for your kids interacting with, other kids?
I think the biggest challenge for us moms is, okay, when the kids are in school, that's time for us to get what we need done. And when school shut down, the kids are home, they're tearing shit up at the house. Like, we have no break from, I'm not saying I always want to break from them, but school really, it's really helpful when it comes to getting things done, getting a little, just space from the children. Not so much we want to get rid of them, but having them in school for at least like part of the day really gives us like some clarity when it comes to just being alone for just some part of the day. Yeah. I think that was the biggest challenge because your kids are now home 24/7 with you. There's no dropping them off to school for a few hours and picking them up afterwards.
So pretty much, yes, it helped juggle things in your guys' life, pretty much.
School, and for the kids too, I mean, I'm sure it took a toll on them to have to learn from home. It's not easy to sit there on a computer and just listen to your teacher.
Dude, as an adult, I can fucking tell you right now, I couldn't even do that shit.
And
I'd go through Zoom meetings at work. Dude, it's
rough.
So fucking hard. So a fucking kid to do this.
Yes.
You have to respect them because they're doing shit that's never been done before.
Right. And so during this pandemic, my kid entered kindergarten. So imagine his first year of elementary school. He's autistic on top of that. Can you imagine an autistic child focusing onto a screen for an hour at best to pay attention to his classmates? He was over there climbing on cabinets, jumping up and down. Like the teacher was like, get down, what are they going to do? They're behind a computer screen. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't good for him at all. It did not. I mean, he has autism. A lot of kids could have benefited from learning from at home, but not someone that has special needs for sure.
No, that's
I mean, that's a whole nother thing that a bunch of like scientists and, a whole bunch of other people in the field that are kind of figuring out and kind of really coming to a realization that this whole Zoom thing and the whole WebEx and stuff like that is, since we're not able to pick up on social cues and body language stuff that we get to deal with in a day in and day out basis,
how important that shit is.
How important it is, and just the fact that how mentally draining and socially exhausting stuff like that is, especially from like, you just said, right? I mean, you couldn't imagine doing that day in and day out all the time, but
as an adult,
someone who you know how to go about your daily business and all that kind of stuff and how to interact with social people, but for a child that's, doesn't even know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I did.
And they say, like, limit their screen time and limit however long they're spending on the computer or on their iPads, on their tablets, but then you're going to throw this on them to do school and all that. They slam them with homework to do on the iPad or on the computer, and it's not beneficial at all.
And it's even more challenging because you have to do that yourself. You have to help them. There's no teacher to help them there. The teacher can only help so much through the Zoom, right? Yeah.
So not only were we mom, but we were also teacher as well, which was the most frustrating thing.
So would you say if the other half was in the picture, it would have alleviated a lot of stress?
I mean, I can't jump in and say, but I feel like that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, but of course, hearing it from them is something different. But of course, right? I mean, having that extra support and someone else to help you with that.
Or you could counter that argument and say, no, it would be more stressful because they would not help at all. And then you'd be more frustrated because they're there and they're not doing anything. Yeah, wouldn't that be more frustrating?
I think moms have a lot more patience when it comes to the teaching aspect. Or I don't know, coming from me, I have to have a lot of patience because I have an autistic son. But dads can do it. It's easy. They're young, It's not it's not hard. It's like, oh, color this in or circle what's this, right? So it's easy for them. But it would help, you know, to take a load off of us for most of the part. But I don't know, what does Destiny have to say? Her kid's a little bit older.
Like I said earlier, you know, if you have a supportive, you know, father figure in the life, it absolutely would make a difference. It really would. But unfortunately, in our situations, it didn't, because it was just all on us. And fortunately for me, you know, my daughter was just about to enter daycare, and she was, you know, excited for it. But I think the biggest issue with COVID was you know, the one day you could be like, oh, my daughter's going to school. And then the next is, oh, she needs to be quarantined for 10 days. And, you know, that uncertainty was probably the biggest stress in my life. Finding a sitter the next day because suddenly she has to be quarantined because a kid in her class tested positive, or a kid's father's friend's uncle that came over the other day. I think that was a big issue. That was the biggest stress in my life, you know, with having to find a sitter on such short notice, considering I was supposed to send her daycare today and tomorrow for the rest of the 10 days, she has to be quarantined. That was just a huge stress on in my life, at least.
Plus, working as an essential, you don't have the luxury to just kind of take the day off. Like we would have to go to work, you know.
Yeah, you know, COVID was a curveball for everyone, and I could imagine. I'm a single guy. It must be hard for single moms. You know what I mean? Like, they have so much, or I should say single parents. You know, they have so much stuff that they have to go through. It's a lot of respect. Yeah. It's a lot of challenges that you guys overcame. You climbed mountains. Yeah. Yeah. So going forward, you have kids. You have baby daddies. You know, what does the future hold for you and your kids? Are you willing to bring another man into their life? Are you, is that a challenge in itself? Or are you willing to stay single to build this life that you want to build for them?
Dating as a single mom was rough in the beginning. I mean, you think of dating as like, oh, I'm just going to go out and have fun and meet other guys. But in the back of your mind, you're always thinking about your kids. And when it comes down to it, it's like, does this guy hold precedence over my kids? Like, do
Absolutely
I really
not.
need to find
Absolutely
a sitter
not,
so I can go on a date with this guy? So it's rough in the beginning. And what it comes down to is really meeting someone that has the patience and understanding. Like, I have kids, you know, I'm not going to be always free to do what you want. I can't just drop everything and meet you at a bar and go on some fancy date. No, my kids hold precedence over anything. Dating has been a little rough, and with my children's father, you know, his schedule has always been real inconsistent. So I'm over here flaking out constantly. So it's gonna be hard. And I'm appreciative of the relationship that I'm in now. He's very patient. He's very supportive when it comes to the kids. It comes down to that. Like, just find someone that can really match.
So is it a deal breaker if the person of interest has kids, or is that a positive?
For me, in my case, I would love to be with somebody who has kids or just does not want kids in general, along the lines like they're accepting of my children, but they personally don't want any, just because I'm just not in that place where I want to have any more, and I'm happy and content with the ones that I have. But going back to that dating conversation, it is extremely hard to meet somebody that's willing to take on a woman who has 2 kids with 2 different dads, regardless of the circumstance. You know, when they look at me, they think something's wrong with me. But had they known the actual story, it might turn their heads differently. But who's actually going to stick around to find out? because that's just what they see on the surface, where it's like 2 kids, two dads, something's wrong with her.
It's a stigma.
So,
Yes.
what advice can you give people that are in your situation based on everything that you just said?
I mean, I can't say because I'm single at the moment.
Okay.
And
Wait.
I won't.
Let me ask you a different question. What do you, as an individual, want to prep yourself to get to that point to where you can date someone, where you can bring someone into their lives? What steps can you take to accomplish that feat? Have you thought about this? Is it because you're so busy it's hard?
Yes. I'm just in this like time in my life where I don't care to meet somebody because it's just another stress on my plate at the moment. I'm trying to secure my future, secure a career, and get my kids in order, because right now my daughter just transitioned to a private school and she's kind of a mess. I get phone calls from the teacher every day about how terrible she is, and I'm not looking to put something else on my plate. Just not right now. And if it's going to be with somebody, it's going to be with literally the one.
And I think the man that you do find should complement your life.
Or a woman.
Or woman, but
Hey.
she loves the D a little too much. But yes.
Clearly, after 2
So
kids.
Yeah, karma.
You know, dating with 2 children, you don't want to take on another child.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen,
man-child.
Karma likes the D. So
does.
we just wanted to put it
That's
out there.
Why you
she's-
look at him when you
I
say
didn't look
that?
at anybody. Karma's my homie, okay?
Yes.
We go back. We go
And
way
then,
back.
for the record, I mean,
No,
Karma
you don't-
dated the other guy.
Hey.
Hey. But anyways, no, so the man that you're with when you have kids should complement your life, not make it any harder for you. You don't want another child in the picture. That's what it really comes down to, too. I mean, I have 2 kids and with the same father, but at the same time, dating is just, it's so hard. I have to worry about one other person when it
It's
comes.
stressful.
So
Yes.
how do you juggle that?
You don't, or you do?
I don't juggle it. He's not a okay,
Example.
I'm sorry. He doesn't, I don't prioritize.
There's levels to this.
Yes.
There's levels.
So,
Yeah.
to an extent, I mean, if I can see you, I can see you, which is where it plays, where you need to find a man that's very understanding and accepting of your situation. Like if I tell him, oh, my baby daddy said he can't pick up the kids, he's like, oh, okay. Surprise, surprise, you know, but it's not easy. I mean, you don't really see it going somewhere when it's so wishy-washy like that, if that makes any sense. But
No, it does. It does.
yeah, it's really hard.
So when it comes to dating, as you know, from a single mother standpoint, do you feel like it's one of those things where honesty is the best policy, where you kind of, I mean, I get it. You don't really want to come out right out the gate and say, hey, you know, I got 2 kids. Are you willing to
But
kind
you know what, though? I feel like that's better.
No, it's, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, is it one of those things where you just come out right out the gate and say, hey, this is what I got. This is what I'm working with. Are you down for this?
Because you want to be real. You want to be yourself. Why would you want to change yourself for somebody?
Right,
That shit's
right.
fucking bullshit to me.
But, you know, the other side of the coin is where, let's say,
like ease into it?
or you know, you may really like this guy or you may really like this girl, and you necessarily don't really want to scare them off. You don't want to give them too much too fast,
And
where
then-
it scares them,
Yeah, but-
and then you might ruin a good thing. So
I can't-
you know,
I
how
can't-
do you play that, right? Do you be honest right out the get-go, or do you kind of like, you know, ease into it, maybe have a couple dates first, and then kind of like, hey, this is how it is, or do you just come right out the gate and say, hey, this is what I got?
I can't
Well,
speak for our guests, but for me, how I am, you got to be upfront.
Yeah.
There's
honesty
nothing
is the best
more
policy.
respectful and powerful than being yourself, being true to who you are, being true to your morals and your values. Nothing beats that. So if you are that from the jump, it's all good. For me personally. I
think
can't speak for our guests. Karma?
That's the beauty of like social media. I mean, as soon as you meet someone, you kind of look them up, right?
True.
You're gonna see on my Instagram all kids, like my boys, everything. But when I started dating this guy, it was literally just supposed to be a one night stand. And I came up front. I mean, I really tried to scare him off by saying, "Oh, I have 2 kids."
See, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
Exactly.
okay.
So do you play
Here's
to that
like-
as your advantage in that? In
No,
some way?
but I mean, you know what? I think men find women with children more endearing. Like it's attractive to them. I mean, they're a mom. They're responsible now, right? They're not going to go out and party or find someone else. You know, it's a little more endearing for them, I think, and that's kind of what he says to me too. Like, I think if I wasn't a mom, I wouldn't be as dateable. I don't know. It's just me.
No, that's good. That's the raw truth, man. That's life. That's real.
Right. But I mean, that's why I was saying that is because, of course, you think that's the right way to go about it. And I think overall, all of us feel that way. Honesty is the best policy. I definitely feel like that too. But there are a lot of people out there that don't really feel like that. I mean,
Fuck them.
I mean, yeah, there's so much deceit, lies and, just a whole bunch of stuff that, especially social media too,
Dude,
right?
social media.
You got your shit on
Okay,
private.
Can I ask you guys something real quick? If you started dating a girl, maybe like 3 or 4 dates in, she finally tells you she had kids, would that
the
change
first
your
okay.
mind?
The first thing that I would tell her is, why didn't you tell me on the first date?
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like it's the same.
You know,
Yeah.
because you're getting to know this person, dude. We're getting fucking old, dude. There's no time for bullshit.
Right. But versus when she tells you right off the bat, would it make you lose interest or
So because
See,
I
that's
think,
why I asked what I asked. Exactly.
Okay, so because, like I said, in our age, millennials, being a single parent is so common. I think you just have to accept it.
Yeah, but then there's some people that probably wouldn't, though.
And that's why I said what I said.
No, that's why I it's like totally understand. Like, if
But that's
they wait,
then you know what? Then they're not for you. You know,
of course, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's okay.
No, yeah, it's your choice if you want to cut the cord or
Yeah,
not. man.
pro freedom, pro freedom.
I mean, the other side of that too is though, right? I mean, this guy could be all about you and everything like that. Everything is flowing, everything is organic, everything feels right. But then maybe that guy really isn't ready for kids and he's not really ready for that part of his life, right? I mean, we see this all the time, I mean, it could be the right guy. Everything would be fucking awesome. But if he's not ready, he's not ready. And then that's going to put on a strain in the relationship. He's going to cut that cord right from the get-go.
Yeah.
That's why the two sides of the coin.
It is. You know what's even more scary? What you just said. People can lie about it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
for
dude.
you to do that to a single parent, and their fucking struggles, that's the fucking worst. Lie to them, lead them on.
But it happens all the time.
Oh, dude, that as is life, man. As is life. That's why we're making this podcast, because we want people to hear the truth. And a lot of people don't talk about these kind of things because either they're scared, maybe they feel vulnerable, maybe they feel weak. But hey, guess what? You're human. It's all good, man. It's okay. It's okay. People need to recognize that the decisions that you make in life, it's okay to either make mistakes or make positive. I don't know what's the opposite of mistake. Positive mistakes.
Happy mistake.
Happy little
right
accidents.
choices.
Make right choices. Thank you,
Right
thank you,
choices,
Jason.
man.
Thank you. You sound really good, by the way.
You do.
You guys got
You
chill.
sound like a
Sexy.
dim sum daddy.
Yeah, you do. You're dim sum daddies in the house, baby. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, piggybacking on that idea, right? Let's say that the single mothers, single fathers, whatever, they find someone that they feel like could be a good match, right? Everything is good, like I said, all that other stuff, right? At what point do you feel like you introduce your kids
Dude,
to that significant other?
That is a question for karma and destiny.
Absolutely, I wanna
can't
hear
tell
it.
you. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, he's not asking us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In my situation, my kids are always with me. So it wouldn't be 6 months or a year down the line. It would be fairly quick, but not instantly, I would have to vibe well with this guy, trust him to a point where he is capable of meeting my kids, but I also don't want to confuse them at the same time. So it wouldn't be a long time, but it wouldn't be very fast either.
So for the single parents listening, what you want to tell them is that from the jump, you gotta kind of bring them in. Is that what you're saying?
If you see
A future. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so-
These
I got
redeeming
it, I got it.
qualities.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Okay.
children,
that-
children meet a lot of people, but you want them to know that if they're meeting this person, they must be a big deal, but it's different in all situations.
Absolutely.
Like Destiny said, you don't want to confuse them, bring all these guys around your babies. It's a mess. But when the time is right, actually, you ask them when they're ready to meet your kids.
I like that. That's smart.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Or
Yeah, I like
you
that.
kind of wait till they take the initiative.
That's great advice for other
Who is
people out
so
there.
and so, and who is this coming in? And
Because a lot of guys will throw game like, oh, so cute, what a cute baby.
It's all a
you know what I
facade.
mean?
I was going to say that facade.
But
for sure.
when the guy, if he's taking you on seriously, he'll want to get to know you, and he'll want to get to know the biggest part of you, which are your children.
Karma, that's great advice for our listeners because they need to hear that. People fucking lie, dude.
Yeah.
That's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
I fucking hate liars. Why do you fucking lie? Why do you not want to be yourself?
Save face.
Should I talk about my second baby daddy or what?
Spill the tea.
No.
They lie because they want to get into your pants, for one.
I know. Then don't give up the pants.
We can't. No.
We or you, Karma?
It's hard not to.
Well, isn't it like, it's a
Single
natural
moms,
thing,
we're
man?
thirsty,
Isn't it natural for pleasure? You know what I mean?
It's human nature, dude. Everyone needs to be digged down. Women, not.
Of
Well,
course.
guys can get digged
Hey,
down.
whatever
too.
floats your boat,
Yeah,
right?
pro freedom. No, that's good. That's. I'm glad you said stuff like that because maybe for the listeners that are on their own, it must be hard to have someone to converse with about. This is sensitive shit, man. It's not like you want to open this shit up to anybody. And thank you for coming on this podcast and giving us your thoughts, how you feel, advice for our listeners. That's great. That's great shit.
Another thing I wanted to touch on too is how do your guys' parents feel about the whole situations? Do your parents kind of feel as if, do your parents give you advice? Do your parents say, hey, fuck this guy, you should have went with, guy A as
But
opposed to
that's
guy
anyone's
B?
parents, dude. I can give you the same argument that
Absolutely not. You have, there are so many parents out there that would be supportive and just be there for the grandchildren. But then you have parents like my mom who look at me in almost disgust because I'm 2 children, not married, still living at home and in her 30s versus when she was in her 30s, she had her own house.
hey, guess what? That was a different time, dude.
It was a different
that was a different
time.
time.
Generation.
Oh,
That's a
absolutely.
different
But
generation.
it's different. And it sucks because you're surrounded by people who have such supportive families and would give anything for grandchildren. And here you are with mom who looks at you with disgust and doesn't want to take care of her grandchildren because she'd rather go out with her boyfriend.
And see, that's why I said what I said. Does it put a strain on those relationships? Because not everyone's parents are the same, right?
very
We come
true,
from
very
different
true.
times and different ideals, and how conservative your parents are, how liberal or free your parents are. It's it could go either way.
Yeah. I would hope for the grandparents, I guess, they would want to be involved. That's their flesh and blood.
You would think, but as a mother now, I can tell you this. If my children were to have children, I would support them in whatever they needed to do. As long as they weren't falling into drugs or partying and doing things
Hey,
that
partying's okay.
it's okay to a certain extent. If they
Moderation,
weren't doing
right,
anything to better themselves, I would not be supportive, and I would not support them in the sense of taking care of their grandchildren, their kids, so that they can do these things. If they were trying to better themselves, it would be a different story, and I would be 100% supportive of whatever they needed, and I would help them with their children.
No, good. That's good. What about you, Karma?
I come from a very traditional Filipino family, and what it comes down to is they push the whole, oh, you had kids with him, so you should be with him. But at the end of the day, they're starting to see through it all and why I left, and they know that this guy is a piece of shit. Like, They see me struggle. I live with them still. I'm not financially stable enough to find a place of my own, of course, not living in this state. But the children are so close. And I think it really benefits the kids, too, that we live in a multi-generational home. I mean, I live with my grandma. They teach them morals and
that's good. They need to see that.
Values that, my age can't really appreciate just yet. But from them, they learn a lot. The children are more respectful because they are surrounded by elders, they're surrounded by, we live in a house of like an 8-person household. So of course yes.
Represent.
Of course, somebody is always there to look after one another, and they know that, like, it's safe for them. But when it comes down to the children having just a lot of support where they need it, and I can always turn, like, I just wake up and, like, I need someone to watch my kid, knock on the other bedroom door.
It's a plus, yeah.
I'm very fortunate to have family.
That's very common in Asian American households.
Yeah, so the
besides Destiny,
the parents help me a lot. They would never turn their back on the children, of course. That's their I mean, I think my mom had mentioned it's something like an investment. Like, they spoil the kids more than they have ever
absolutely.
Spoiled me.
And that's
how it is.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's the grandparents' duty.
Yeah, they're just so spoiled.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's because they're old.
So I want to transition into something on the legal terms. So as single moms, how does it challenge you on the legal aspect of custody, monetary, challenges that you face? And what, man, dude, that's such a touchy subject.
This is my time to shine right here.
Okay, bring it, Karma.
Actually, I recently filed for a child support order with my children's father. I knew he was going to make it extremely difficult. In the beginning, kind of rewinding, I was never interested in the money. The kids are 5 and 6 years old now. I've never asked for child support or was never interested in any type of support from him as long as he was doing his part. But from the whole COVID, it's been a struggle for everybody. I was working less because I was taking care of the kids more, and he didn't see that as a real big transition because he wasn't really taking the kids on to begin with. But when he had moved in with his girlfriend, meaning he's only taking them 2 days out of the week, and there are 7 days in the week. So obviously I have the kids more, and that takes money. Time is money, right? So
why do you think that it's a hard thing for the other parent to support?
They're selfish. And they don't see it as, I don't see my children as dollar signs, The dad, like I said, time is money. If you can put all your time into working, where is that money that you're working for going towards? It should be for the kids, because if I'm working less because I'm taking care of the kids, something's got to give.
Absolutely.
So moving forward, I was like, I need to put in this child support order because it's not fair.
Would you say it's more for a peace of mind?
When I say I wasn't interested in the money, it was more of a nudge for him to take on more responsibility. I wasn't okay with him just being able to live his life and I'm making all these sacrifices versus...
Dude, see, that's what I don't understand, because how can you not want to be involved in your kid's life?
Yeah.
That's your fucking kid.
Yeah.
Your fucking kid. That's your flesh and blood. You made this dude.
And so it took a child support order for him to actually step up and be like, okay, well, if I have to pay this much, then I'd rather just take them for those days that I should be paying.
You know what I want to know? I want to know what the statistic is on single parents that had to have gone through legal challenges, because I assume it's really high. You know, the statistics showing that they had to go through legal challenges to get custody, to get monetary compensation, for their children. You know,
yeah.
I don't know what the statistic is, but I would like to know.
No, I mean, I feel like that's kind of almost like I don't want to say the ultimatum.
Yeah,
right? But I mean, it's kind of like, hey, I don't want to do this to you. I don't want to bring you
but
to court.
I fucking have to.
But I will if I have to. You really need to fucking step up. Now's the time.
That's the worst. Though.
No, but
It's
how can you hold your kid?
Yeah, see,
How the fuck can you hold your kid as an ultimatum?
But see,
That's your
and that's
fucking
why,
kid.
everyone says ultimatums are not the way to go with anything, right? Because you don't want to necessarily put somebody in that situation. But when the shit hits the fan, and that's what, you really need, you've tried, you've exhausted all your other efforts, everything else hasn't worked. And like I said, I don't want to do this. I did have love for you, and maybe I still do. That there's still some love there, but you're not giving me anything, and now I'm only doing this because I feel like this is the only option
you pushed
I
me to that,
have.
Yeah. No, because I have, like you said, I've exhausted all my options.
So what advice can you give to our listeners that now that you wish you knew in the beginning of this legal challenge? Like, do you wish you did it sooner
or differently?
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish I did it sooner. I mean, the whole situation was more so based on when he would take the kids. I mean, scheduling it's a stability thing. Like, I need to know for sure when you can take the kids so I can plan my days around it. I picked up another job because I thought his schedule was going to be consistent enough for me to work and make more money for my kids, which was one of my options, not to file for child support. And I've exhausted all of my options. He didn't see that, and I asked him multiple times, you need to come up with something that's going to help me. And I wish I filed for child support sooner, because then at least he would have taken the responsibility to take them when he needed to.
So you would have had less years struggling?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would have. I'm happy that I did what I needed to do, and I've done everything for my kids. But up until this point, if he was going to fight this hard not to pay for child support and take the kids, then I should have done it sooner, for sure.
Not to be off topic, but dude, your eyebrows do look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did them last week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You colored them in?
No, I got them retouched. They're microbladed. Or
Oh,
powder
okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Jason, you want to chime in?
On those eyebrows?
No.
You like my eyebrows
Not
too.
on the eyebrows. Okay. So no, dude, I loved about everything that we talked about. That was really good. Do you guys have anything else that you want to bring on, or there anything that you want to say to?
There is one more thing I kind of want to touch on, because your boy kind of wrote down some notes before we all started this.
Absolutely.
So Karma and Destiny, of course, your guys' situations are a little different, right? Karma's kids are a little bit younger, right? Destiny's kids are a little bit older. So I guess this question is more tailored toward Destiny, but I would say, because your kids are kind of at that age where, are they kind of asking where that father figure is, or are they kind of?
That's a great question, dude. That's a
right.
great
I mean,
question.
because
I didn't even think about that.
Right.
Well, my son's situation, he's 10, and his dad didn't really come into the picture as much when he was a baby. He was always in and out. He was there, but not fatherly there. He didn't come around until he was actually in kindergarten. And that's when they started a relationship. And now today they're actually really close, actually closer than me and my son. They've got more things in common. They like to go to the beach. They fish. They go on the boat. So, I mean, I'm so grateful for the way it turned out. And,
good.
He was always the guy that I always envisioned him to be. But unfortunately, we were in different mindsets when we were together and when we had our son. My daughter, in that case, her father is there, but he's also very selfish in the sense of he's all about him. And so the teacher asked me today when I was having a parent-teacher conference about how terrible she is in school. Where is dad? He never picks up her, or like our daughter. He never drops her off. She's never met him. And she's questioning him because she sees his mom always picking her up, and
his mom is in grandma.
Yeah,
grandma.
His mom, my daughter's grandma. She's always there to pick her up every single day, or the days that they have her. And so he's not fully there. But when it comes to child support, he's vocally there. That was a big step for us. When I had put child support on the table, he threw a huge fit, threatened me, blackmailed me, everything down the line.
Yeah. Is that more common than you think in millennials?
I think that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of women do not file, because they just don't want to deal with it.
Do you feel like they should, though?
I feel like they should, but every situation is different.
It is.
And in my case, he blackmailed me, threatened to throw me under the bus with friendships, everything down the line, just to make my life hell and just to get what he wanted to get.
So pretty much, it just sounds like most men are just being selfish on that part of not doing child support.
Yeah, and it's sad because people have that stereotype where, baby daddies, they suck. But there are so many men out there that do step up to the plate and are good fathers. And
thank you for saying that. I really appreciate, as a single mom, for you to say that, because for you to recognize that, that's awesome. Yeah. That means it's out there.
Well, because that stereotype does exist. Yeah. Deadbeat dads, right?
Dude,
and everybody talks about it.
It's portrayed in the movies, social media. It's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, even in the court, in the legal system, right? I mean, the court system almost always gives the females.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, because history repeats itself. There are so many instances where deadbeat dads are a legitimate stereotype because it's fucking true.
Majority of the time it is, but there is... not saying equally, but there are deadbeat moms out there.
Of course.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So, Destiny, going back to your son, what changed his dad, his father, to be there now?
Honestly, I have no idea.
You think it comes with age?
I think so.
Is it just because he was just five when he was in kindergarten?
I mean, when we had our son, he was 21, and he was kind of the ugly duckling.
He was 21 too. Are you guys the same age?
I'm a year older than him, but he was
cougar. Okay.
Always. 07. That's my favorite.
All the daddies, or all the guys that want to be daddies, hit up Destiny. I'll give you her handle.
No, I think it definitely did come with age for sure. When we first started dating and I got pregnant, I was 22 and he just turned 21.
Dude, I remember that. We were working together.
Yeah, he was literally the ugly duckling in high school. Blossomed after high school, and all these girls wanted to get at him, but he wasn't ready to settle down. And so,
of course, he was 21.
Yeah.
He wanted to party
living
at the same
life.
time. Yeah, 20. I feel like when you're at 21, man, that's when it just starts to party.
So he worked in an environment that made him do so.
Restaurant life, right?
Absolutely, the service industry.
Yeah.
So for the listeners out there, all of us, the Dim Sum Daddies hosts and our guests, we've all worked together.
Yeah.
We've all worked together. We worked in the restaurant industry. I'm not going to say the name because just in case, legal shit. So,
ramifications.
Yeah. But we worked together. We know that life. We know
each other.
It's so great though.
It's a completely different work environment compared to a lot of other
But
ones.
wouldn't you say that the restaurant industry is the most fun of all my fucking jobs that I've had?
Absolutely.
I've had the most fun working with you fools.
Oh no,
100%.
That's my favorite job.
And the responsibilities were a lot different than what it is in a real career job,
Oh yeah.
But you're young.
Maybe not the best life lessons and all the other kind of stuff, right?
But nonetheless, life lessons.
Oh, the best of times, the worst of times, 100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't change any of that because I felt like I learned so much about communication, leadership, money, relationships, all through working in that job.
Communication with people,
not only people, customers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like customers in the sense, like
or even coworkers, professional relationships.
Read body language on another level.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Can we turn it around on you guys though? Like, what are your thoughts on dating single moms?
Okay, I can only speak for myself. I don't. For me, that's not a deal breaker.
Same.
If
It's not
they're a
deal breaker.
good mom, dude, I'm all in.
What makes them look like a good mom to you?
They're involved in their life. They're willing to because if they're willing to sacrifice, dude, I'm willing to sacrifice. If that's your kid, dude, homie, that's my kid too. You know?
Could you say the same if you were 5 years younger?
Absolutely not. No, for real. I grew up so much in the past 2 or 3 years that my mentality on life, my mentality on friendships have changed, that things become more important to you as you get older. And the older that you get, you realize that.
The realizations.
Exactly. So, okay, I'll give you an example. This is for me. I envision this porch, okay, in the future. And there's certain individuals that I want to sit on that porch. That I think I've told you guys this
Wait,
before.
is this from How I Met Your Mother, man?
Dude, shut the fuck up.
Dude, I was like, wait a
Are
minute. This
you
is like the
Lily
porch.
and
Sorry.
Who is the Lily?
So
to
you're
your
Ted
Marshall?
then. You trying to be like Ted?
Fuck no, I'm Barney, homie.
Yeah, but Ted is the one that wants the porch, and then only his closest friends are sitting.
Never
on that
watched
porch
it.
And had,
Same.
What?
I've only seen a couple episodes. I didn't catch the hype. I liked a couple episodes, but I hear what
Dude,
you're saying.
Turn your
though. I hear
fucking
what
mic off.
I'm also not vaccinated.
Okay, anti-vaxxer. Hey, that's okay. You know what? So, okay, you want to swing it that way? We can swing it that way.
No.
Let's talk about COVID.
Wait. I was gonna say
I was
though.
about to say on
That's
that.
a whole nother
yeah, sorry,
day.
man.
Is that for another podcast?
Episode.
Okay.
For another
That's
podcast.
that's
Okay.
an episode in itself.
But I was gonna say though, jumping back to that original question
Yeah.
from Karma, I was gonna say it may be an unpopular opinion, but let's just say, and I'm in a happy committed relationship, right? But let's just say I was single and I did meet a single mother, right? Or a single female, and then I found out that she was, the mother of 1, 2, 3, whatever the case may be.
3's kind of pushing.
5 kids.
Oh, absolutely. Whoa,
Listen.
slow down, chill,
Two
right?
is average right now.
Yeah, two is like the max, dude.
Right. But unpopular opinion, I'm not going to lie, it would put not necessarily a wall between us, but there would be kind of like,
Would you resent her?
no, not that I would resent her, but I would, and not necessarily that I put her on the back burner, but there would be kind of, like, I don't know. See, it's hard for me to say this, but but I will say that I'm not going to completely cut all cords with her. I'm not going to sever the line or anything like that. If I enjoy spending time with her and I enjoy the vibe, all that other kind of stuff, and we click, then I'm going to continue to try to pursue that and see where that goes.
See, I
right?
feel like
See,
I feel like
yeah.
that's normal with
That's
men.
normal too. But then what I'm trying to say is that if I do find out that they have kids, that it might kind of put, not that I don't want to be with them or that that's a red flag, but there is kind of like that. Yeah, I know. See, you guys are looking at me like that, but I mean,
well, I don't consider it as a red flag. I wouldn't know, even though what Destiny said 5 years ago, if I was like, I probably would, just to see, like what you're saying. Just to see,
let's give an example. We all have a friend. We're not going to mention names. He likes dating moms.
yeah.
We know who it is. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
mention any names, but that's. Hey, some people like that.
Yeah. No, we have actually a couple friends that.
Oh, yeah,
does
a
like
few
that.
friends, yeah.
we do. They would date a single mom, and they'll be there for their kids because they actually also believe that they're strong women and they support it. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not saying
Yo,
when I said that, I'm not saying I think any less of them. I don't hold them to a lesser standard
Yeah,
whatsoever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for me personally, and once again, it's not a red flag. It's just kind of one of those things where I would maybe take a step back and maybe try to reanalyze the situation. Is this really what I want? Do I really want to take on the responsibility of 1, 2, 3, maybe, whatever the case may be?
But see,
Am I
that's-
really ready for this?
But as a mother, that's not what we're asking. We're not asking you to be the new dads of our children.
Is that
Oh,
normal?
yeah,
I mean,
but, I mean,
ultimately, isn't
I
that
was
what it
actually-
is, though?
I mean, I would actually would not be thinking like that. Maybe they just want to, they're looking for love too, man. And if you're
Yeah,
single, you're
exactly.
looking for
Everybody
love.
wants to be
that's-
loved.
Yeah,
That's
why,
human
yeah.
nature, man.
Yeah.
I want to be loved. All the hot
Yeah.
girls, come hit me up.
I mean,
I mean, just coming from my perspective, I would never ask somebody to take on that dad role, teach my kids these stuff, do all these things that dads are supposed to do.
I'll call you daddy,
So,
though.
right, no, and I'm not saying that. I'm just
Dim Sum
saying for me personally, if I'm trying to link up and I'm trying to hook up or trying to, do whatever with someone, I'm only doing that because I see potential in that person, right? And
She would have to be worth it.
right, exactly. And so I'm thinking of the bigger picture. I'm thinking, is this what, and you guys just said, you're not trying to make that guy the dad or whatever, but that's what ultimately I feel like the bigger picture is, right? I mean, you're not trying to, if you want to go out around, have fun and have flings or do whatever, yeah, that's your prerogative and do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it is, right? You are really kind of
That's actually
looking.
like a little thought in your head, pretty much.
It should be. It has to be,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, unpopular, but
No, dude. So that was we have to kind of wrap things up. This is kind of a long podcast, but I feel like that was great. Karma, Destiny. Is there anything that you want to say to wrap this up for single moms, single dads? Maybe advice to people that you want to date. Oh no, okay, not want to date, but advice to single people that are trying to get involved with people who have kids. If you have nothing to say, it's all good too.
The kids don't define the parent or the kids don't define me in that sense. I just would expect to meet somebody that would be accepting of it, and hopefully that is down the line. And if not, then that's just my fate, I'm okay. I won't never be lonely. I've got the 2 kids that'll be there for me through thick and thin because I'm going to raise them to support family and put that love out there.
Karma?
The kids are part of me, so you really have to find somebody that's willing. If they're gonna take you on as a partner, they need to come with everything that comes along with you. So regardless of whether you're ready or not, we're moms
Yeah. Good.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Dim Sum Daddies. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Come check us out.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Spotify, iTunes. You can check us out. Leave us a good rating. See ya.
Thank you.
peace.
Shoot.